Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna. Let's start. So let's continue our presentation. We have not given the rest of the people's feedback. We have not given them feedback, so we continue. Continue from where we stop. Then later we'll give everyone feedback. So Mother Nyarika has given, Mother Lakshmi, Mother Angel, and Mother Nikki, they have given theirs. So are we ready to give the remaining one, those who want to, who are prepared? If you are prepared.
Yes, Prabhuji. Meghana, you go first, Mata Meghana.
Okay, before starting, we cannot forget our shloka recitation. Let's start.
Ashray Prabhu. 10.8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvam pravartate iti pravartate. What's next? Pravartate iti matva bhajanti mam.
This fan will not allow me to enjoy. Please go ahead, sorry. The fan was making so much noise.
Bhajanti mam. Mudha baba samabitaha. Translation.
Buddha.
Buddha.
Did you say Buddha?
Buddha.
Are you sure it's Buddha? Are you sure it's Buddha that is there?
Yeah, Buddha.
Buddha. Okay, Buddha.
Okay. Translation: I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Haribo. Thank you for opening the floor. We don't want to waste 1 minute, please. Let's just be okay. Let's do like this. Raise your hand according to how you want to give, because the computer will just put you like that. Then I'll be calling the name one after the other. We don't want to waste any time, you know. Just raise your hand up if you are giving today. I will call you. Okay, Mother Lakshmi. Okay, after that, Mother Nyarika, then Mother Nikki. Okay, let's go.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo mama sarvam
Mata
sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Translation: I'm the source of all I'm the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engages in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Mother Nyarika, it's your turn.
Okay, Prabhu. Chapter 10, verse 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhavan samanvitaha. Translation. Everything. Was it everything?
I
am the source of all spiritual and material of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'll go next.
Thank you, Mata. Next, Madaniki.
Okay, chapter 10, text 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava. Yes, buddha bhava. Buddha bhava saman vitaha, right? Buddha bhava saman vitaha. Okay, translation. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who personally knows this engages in devotional service of me and worship me with all their hearts. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for those who have applied their faith to recite today. It's encouraging, and let's keep it up. By tomorrow, you should be more fluent in recitation. This shloka, I learned it when I was inside in my mother's womb. So, especially this one, I learned it when I was inside my mother's womb. It's a very, very, very important shloka for us to understand, especially like we talk about the Shatushloki. Let us try our best. One by one, we're going to be picking the Shatushloki. I will not bother you so much in chapter 10 with many shloka, but these Shatushloki, you must learn. Okay. Aham sarvasya prabhava mata sarvam prabhatate iti matva bhajanti ma buddha bhava samavita. I told you I learned it when I was inside my womb. You see, inside my mother's womb. You see how fluent I am saying it? So when you want to start the translation, you say aham sarvasya, aham, I am. Aham means I am. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Everything is coming from me. So the translation means I am, and Krishna is probably made the translation that I am the source of both material and spiritual world. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Everything is coming from that is what Krishna is saying. Everything, both material and spiritual, coming from Mata sarvam prabhatate. You know, everything, all of them, they are all coming from me. Iti matwa bajantema buddha baba sabativa. Iti matwa bajantema. One who knows it, those who are wise, who know this. Iti matwa bajantema. Buddha baba samavita. They worship him with all their heart. So it's very, very nice shloka that we should memorize. You know, one line by line, if you memorize them, it's easier for you to remember the translation, like I said. Keep this in your mind. Aham sarvasya prabhava it mata sarvam iti matwa bajantema buddha baba samavita. Okay, Machita Gatat Pranas, Budayanta Parasparam, Tusianti Charamat. That is the next one we're going to learn, but let us skip this one first. Okay, so thank you very much for those who have recited, and we'll continue from tomorrow. Okay, let's continue our presentation. Madam Megalanda, you want to give a presentation? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I like to present Chatur Sloka Bhagavad Gita as it is from 10.8 to 10.11. The three subjects here are Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojana. Sambandha, it establishes the relationship between self and Supreme Self. Here I would like to place 10.8 verse in this because as Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds and everything emanates from me. I would like to give an example here like creator, creation and connection. An artist recognizes the divine inspiration behind their creativity, acknowledging the supreme self as the source of imagination. And second, Abhidheya, the voice knowing Krishna as the source of all, worshipping him with devotional. I would like to place the 10.9 verse here. As a practitioner, like one who focus on the chanting and cultivating the devotional and offering the daily prayers and recognizing the supreme self in all aspects of life. And verse 10.10 also here, as a dedicated student, the student studies the spiritual text with devotional and receive profound insight and understands from his divine. And third characteristics are prayojana, out of compassion for them. as I would like to place 10.11 here. This reveals us the ultimate goal and inner transformation. An individual experience spiritual awakening, overcoming the ignorance and darkness through divine guidance. Finally, I would like to connect all this by pursuing the passion. In verse 8, an artist creates work inspired by the divine through dedication. Uh, in the verse 10, and they receive spiritual guidance leading to inner transformation. Verse 11. If anything is wrong, Prabhuji, I'm very sorry. I tried that.
No. There's nothing wrong. In speaking about the Lord, you can never go wrong. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation.
Thank
It
you.
was nicely presented. Thank you. Okay, next.
Krishna Prabhuji, I want to share my screen. Give me a minute.
Go ahead, Mata. Please share.
Share. Do you see it? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Hold on, Prabhuji. Wait, where is it?
Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna start. Namaong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutala Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Janananda Goswami iti namine. Jai Shri Krishna. Please bless me.
No one remind me about the time. Oh, Krishna.
Okay. Prabhuji.
Let me do the time. Please go ahead.
Yes, today my name is Ashaya Devidasi, your servant. Today I will be giving the presentation about the Chatur Sloki Bhagavad Gita of 10.8, 10.9, 10.10 to 10.11. The instructor is His Grace Kavikarnapura Prabhu. Introduction. The Chatursloki Bhagavad Gita 10.8 to 11 captures the essence of devotional philosophy, highlighting the Sambadha, our relationship with Krishna, Abadheya, devotional practice, and Prayojana, pure love for God. These verses reveal Krishna as the source of all creations, the process of devotions, and the ultimate goal of the spiritual realization. So the summary, I chose Sabadha, verse 10.8, our relationship with Krishna. So here, Krishna declares that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. This means that Krishna is the absolute truth and the origin of all creation. Recognizing this inspires us to surrender to him. So for example, I would like to give the example of Prahlad Maharaj. He was born in the Raksha family, but even though he undergo a tremendous, obstacles through his father, Hiranyakashipu, because he's always surrendering to Lord Nrsimhadev, he's always get protections because he knew that Krishna is the ultimate protector and the source of everything. Similarly, I wanted to share as an example also the Pandavas during the war of the the Kurukshetra, and Arjuna, who accept Krishna as the spiritual master and surrender to Krishna as his spiritual master, seeking guidance when he was confused and lost. And on the Abhadeya, verse 10.9, devotional practice. So in here, Krishna explains that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. This verse shows how devotees engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna performing their duties. So I would like to share an example in the Krishna book. It's in the chapter 29, which is the Gopis of Vrindavana. They are performing their duties while churning the butter, while they are trying to serve their children, they're cleaning their house, but their hearts and their minds are always engaged in the pastimes, in the thoughts of Sri Krishna. So here, it is like, their lives were a seamless blend of devotions and duties, showing us how to perform our duties daily life, but at the same time trying to like engage our lives in bhakti. So even though you're a student, that you're trying to like study, you can always like meditate in Krishna and offer it to him. Even though you are a mother, even though you're working, you can always engage everything in devotional service and always meditate in Lord Shri Krishna, just as like the gopis in Vrindavana. And then Prayojana, I chose verse 10.10 and 11, pure love to Shri Krishna. So here, to those constantly devoted to me, I gave the understanding by which they come to me. This verse assures us that Krishna will guide his devotee to the ultimate goal of life, pure eternal love for him. So a wonderful example of this is Sudama, which is actually a poor Brahmana friend of Sri Krishna. One day he visited Sri Krishna in Dwarka, and he actually gave Krishna a gift, which is a cheap rice. But then Krishna accepted it with so much love, washed his feet, and then accepted him as a devotee. So it resonates in my heart deeply because I remember this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, which is 9.26, that mentions that you offer me a flower, a leaf, as long as with love and devotion, I'll accept it. So Lord Shri Krishna is not actually focusing on our material opulence, but our sincerity and our love. So my takeaway and realization, by understanding Krishna as the source of everything, which is sabadha, and engaging in devotional service, abadeya, and aspiring for pure love of God, prayojana, one achieves the ultimate success in life. The Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita together guide us to this path to perfection. Introductions to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you have any questions? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Janananda Goswami Maharaj, Jai Kavikarnapura Das Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
My name is Kavikarnapura. Yes, thank you very much, Mataji, for your wonderful presentation. We appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much. Any other person who has not given their presentation? I think everyone here has given. So no one is remaining, no? Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for the presentation on Chateau Sloki, which is very nice learning experience. You making research about the verses and putting something up to explain to the class. It's a very, very nice experience. This kind of learning experience is one of those things that will remain with you even after we finish studying the program, finish this Bhagavad Gita, because it takes you a long time for you to put things together. So you can never forget that experience. It's different from when you just come to class and then I say, "Hi, Krishna," I say something, then you accept, reject in your mind. But when you make research on your own, that's remain with you forever. So thank you very much. I want to appreciate all of you, your efforts. And just like you have rightly said, many of you got it right, but some also have to just listen. So we have the like I said, all the knowledge in the scripture, they are basically divided into three: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. All the knowledge in the scripture, all. It's either it's talking about Sambandha Gyan, our relationship with the Supreme Lord, or the practice of devotional service, Abhideya, or it's talking about the reciprocation of the Lord towards the devotee, Prayojana. Shila Bhakti Thakur explained the different we have. It's divided into 7 subjects. Talk about like tattva, samanda gyan, knowledge, full knowledge about our relationship with Krishna. It means the knowledge of self and personality of Godhead. So when you study the scripture, this is either you go that is what you are getting. Full knowledge of Krishna, Sambandha Gyan. We have knowledge about the material, the energy of Krishna, the Shakti, like the external energy of Krishna, knowledge about that. When you're studying the scripture, like in Srimad Bhagavatam, you hear about the creation, the cosmic manifestation, all these things they are under Sambandha Gyan. Then sometimes you come across knowledge about Rasa Tattva, about the intimate relationship with Krishna. These are all Sambandha Gyan. Then we have Jiva Tattva, the knowledge about the living entity. Like in chapter 2, how we are not this body, we are the soul. That is the knowledge. Then we have knowledge about the living entity in a conditional state and knowledge about the living entity in a liberated state. So we have different kind of living entity. We have living entity in the conditional state and living entity in the liberated stage. We are considered to be Nitya Baddhas, while those in the spiritual world are considered to be Nitya Siddhas. Okay? Then we have Pachintya Vedaveda Tattva, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, simultaneously one and different. So all this knowledge, they are all categorized under Sambandha Gyan by Srila Bhakti Thakur. So when we analyze the chapter 10, text 8, you can see this is more or less like Sambandha Gyan, like many of you got it right. Okay, talking about the knowledge of Krishna, how the great Krishna is the source of everything. Then 9 and 10 are under Abhideya, talking about the practice of the Lord. Even the text 10 also is a continuation of 9, because it says Tesham. Tesham means those. It's talking about the text 9. So engaging in devotion. So still Sambandha Gyan. And Prayojana means the Lord, after you have engaged in devotional service for a long time, then when the Lord starts reciprocating, sometimes it may take many years before the Lord will reciprocate. Sometimes it may take many lifetimes before the Lord will reciprocate. So the reciprocation of the Lord is what we call Prayojana. Okay, some of you are explaining Prayojana to me, developing love of God. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that can be the goal. But reciprocation of the Lord itself is what is called Prayojana, when the Lord reciprocates. So if you read the text 11, it's talking, Krishna is saying, I dissipate. So that is reciprocation. That is reciprocation. I dissipate the darkness of ignorance. So Krishna now begins, because of the devotionals, activities of the devotee practitioner. So the Lord now is reciprocating by giving the person knowledge personally, and then giving him pure love for him. So we can say half of 10 and 11 is Prayojana. Half of 10 and 11, not in the full first, not the full 10. If you look at 10 and 11, you see what I mean. Okay, any question or comment regarding this?
Prabhu, I was thinking of making a Venn diagram instead of columns, because when I was reading the Sanskrit too and the verses, there seemed to be a transition between the verses. I was thinking, because I made columns, right, to present the categories, but I was thinking while I was in the process of making my presentation that I should have done a Venn diagram, because there is really a transition between the stages of spiritual advancement. It's not just like a whole division. It transitions. It's continuing. It's a process.
Very good. Oh, yeah. Give us the explanation of that. We are listening to you.
Because Prabhu, when I was looking into, for example, verse 10, I was thinking, if Krishna is trying to tell us that if we are devoted to him, if we are sincere to him, then he would help us. So it feels like it's Abideya, but also Krishna reciprocating our work. So there is a transition, but I didn't do it. So yeah, regrets.
Okay, at least you got that point now. Okay, so half of 10 is Prayojana, and 11 is Prayojana fully. Okay, so any other question or comment? Okay, let's continue our study now. Oh, I have a question for everybody. This is a class discussion. So the question is that let's discuss. Feel free to discuss. This is a class discussion. So the question is that we have been discussing so for long, so far that you really need knowledge for you to really be fixed up to have faith in, to engage in devotional service. But when you now come to Nectar of Devotion, when you study Nectar of Devotion, then you start reading something like Krishna doesn't even appreciate those people who serve him with knowledge. So how can we balance this situation? Because if Mother Yashoda is serving Krishna with knowledge, then he will not be able to serve properly. If the gopis are serving Krishna with knowledge, then they will not be able to, the pastor will not be sweet. So how can we understand this? I want an explanation from you.
Yes, Prabhu. In verse 10, I remember reading that we read this in the classroom, really, that there may be devotees who engage in karma yoga or those who engage in jnana yoga. And although they're not that intelligent because they are doing other things instead of bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga, according to Krishna, as long as you remain in association with other devotees and you followed the instructions of your spiritual guru, your master, spiritual master, like to a T, then you will be on the right path. You will not be led astray. So still, ultimately, you will reach Krishna. So you need to find the balance of having someone instructing you on the proper path and having other devotees in your association around you enlightening you about things that you are still that you still have like muddy thoughts about. So I think that's that's what's missing. So maybe you will grow more and you will overcome those different those different kinds of processes instead of doing karma yoga or jnana yoga, just focusing on knowledge. Then eventually, after association and after being after having absorbed what your spiritual master has instructed you or has taught you, then you will eventually reach the stage of like bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga. It's like clarity.
Thank you for your contribution. So audience want to say something? I hope you understand my question, because if you don't understand my question, you cannot give correct answer.
Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
So if you're acting with knowledge, if you have the knowledge, you're acting with purpose. So for example, you're doing a job, you're going to detach yourself from the results of your actions and more of like you're just doing your dharma, something like that. Thank you.
Let me explain. That's why I say if the question is not clear, the answer will not get the answer. What I'm saying is that in the Gita, Krishna saying, if you are convinced about me, then you engage in pure devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. That is 10:7. Krishna said very clearly. So now I'm now saying, many places Krishna say you have to have the knowledge of me for you to be able to have faith in me. Many places. But when you go to higher platform of devotional service, then you'll be hearing something like pure bhakti is devoid of knowledge. of the majesty of Krishna. You see, like I gave example of the resident of Vrindavan. They don't consider Krishna to be supreme God. They don't need to see him as the Lord of the universe, the Lord of the demigods. Even when Indra came to, try to disturb his play by sending torrent of rain, when Indra came to beg for forgiveness, Krishna was just like when you are tending to your boy and you are not interested in a boy. You are a boss of a company, and you are not happy with the performance of your employee or whatever, employer, not employee, yeah. So you are not happy with that, and it's trying to give a report to you, and you're just saying, please, can you just read fast so that you can go? That was how Krishna was dealing with Indra. And it was like, oh, I want to go and play with my friend. He was not interested in all the glorification Indra has to give him. You see, so, but this friend, they don't even have knowledge that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So my question is that, how can we understand these two, seemingly contradictory situation, that you need to be in the knowledge of Krishna for you to attain pure devotional service, but on the platform of pure devotional service, the knowledge is not needed. So that's what I'm asking.
Prabhu, I'll try again. Because I read in verse 11 that the Mayavadis, right, the philosophers, they always criticize the devotees because they said that, yes, you are ripe in your spiritual advancement when it comes to Krishna, but you are philosophically, how do you say that, unsharp. You're not that well versed about the philosophy. So actually, you're not doing it right. They were criticizing the devotees. But according to Srila Prabhupada in the Purport, that even if the devotee does not take advantage of the literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So it connects with the verse that even if there's a shortage or you're lacking in something, Krishna, it dispels the darkness from your heart like a shining lamp.
Thank you very much. Anybody want to?
Can I try?
Yes, please go ahead, Mata.
I think, Prabhu, with regards to this question that you had, I think the first thing is that one has to, is acceptance that Sri Krishna is the ultimate supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, and that comes in knowledge, of course, but a little bit of knowledge in that sense that you can understand and you are accepting that Sri Krishna is the supreme truth of all, then that comes it will flourish. Like your bhakti will start flourishing because you start believing that Sri Krishna is the essence and the what do you call this one? The source of everything. And just like what Srila Prabhupada said, he said in one of his lecture that like what is the point of watering a tree in its each of its branches or each of its leaves when you can actually water the main source, which is the roots. So basically understanding the main source of everyone, it will come in connection, and then you can grow to love Sri Krishna even more. And then it comes when a point when you are in that point of loving Sri Krishna so deeply, you tend to forget that you actually had the knowledge of Krishna being the highest of all, or you had that knowledge because you are so in constant thought, so devoted to him, your minds are full of him, so you actually forgot that oh, I had this knowledge. I'm just so into Shri Krishna that I actually forgot this. So something like that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. You try, but I'm still looking for some technical term.
Prabhuji, can I try again? So like the gopis and the residents of Vrindavana, it's more of it's called Raganuga Bhakti, or as it's called as spontaneous devotions. Normally it flows from the heart without needing of reasoning. Um how to explain it further? Like they just have this spontaneous love to Krishna, even though they don't have the knowledge. Like when I was reading the Krishna book in chapter 29, like the gopis are like meditating on Krishna, even then they hear the float, like they already like running to him. They forgot their kids, they forgot their house duties, they forgot their husband. So it's called yeah, Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous love to Krishna without knowledge. I just want to try it.
Thank you very much. You got it. The one of the technical term, but your explanation was not complete. Thank you. But you tried. You clap for yourself. So let me just explain. What I was expecting is like knowledge is very important for you to understand Krishna. The more knowledge you acquire about the Supreme Lord, the more your faith and love will develop to Him. But there is a stage you will come to. This is the more knowledge you acquire, the more your love and faith will increase to Him. This is called Vaidhi Bhakti, regulated devotional service. So when you're engaging in Vaidhi Bhakti, knowledge is very, very important. Vaidhi Bhakti is what we call it. When we come to Nectar Devotion, you'll get full more detail about this. So Vaidhi Bhakti, knowledge of the Supreme Lord is very, very important. But there's a stage you will come to, like we talk about the 8 stages of perfection. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Vajana. So when you come to the late stage of Ashakti and Bhava, when your love for Krishna has become so strong, then at that time, your devotees are advised to follow in the footsteps of Brajabasi. So when you are following the footsteps of that Brajabasi, you are learning the spontaneous devotional service, which is called Raganuga Bhakti, through Ragatmika Bhakti. So, at that point of Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous devotion to Krishna, because you have realized who you are in the spiritual world. Whether you're a gopi, you're a cowherd boy, you're a servant, or whatever you are, you already realize at that stage. So now, engaging in your internal duty on that platform, you don't need knowledge again, because you already become fixed, you're attached to Krishna, you love Krishna. So you now start, like, for example, now, if Krishna boyfriend, we have to relate with Krishna with knowledge, they will not be able to climb on his shoulder. They will not be able to relate with him freely. They will always be scared. It's like when you have so much knowledge about the person you are relating with, the knowledge will become an impediment for you to be free with that person. So that is the same thing also with Krishna. So when you come to that platform, knowledge becomes zero. And that is what is called Prema Bhakti. On that platform is only action based on prem, pure love. No more gyan. Knowledge is already gone. On the platform of regulated Bhakti, regulated devotional service, Sadhana Bhakti, we call it Sadhana Bhakti or Vaidhi Bhakti, knowledge is very important. But when you come to the level of Ragatmika Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakta, become a Raganuga Bhakta, then knowledge is completely zero. It's not, at that time, it's not that knowledge is not there, but it's not prominent. It becomes a servant. Knowledge of the mellow in which you are relishing, that is what you focus more on. If you are a girlfriend of Krishna, or you are a Ramanjari, or you are whatever, that is what, the aspect of Krishna you focus more to really dive deeper into that relationship. So all these things is very important for us to understand. Even though at present now, we cannot apply that such high knowledge of how to serve Krishna. We don't need that now, but at least we should understand it. we should know about it also. Any comment or question based on my explanation?
Prabhu, if you are
Yes.
always like thinking of Krishna, thinking of his greatness, always really like thinking of his pastimes, didn't you tell us before that sometimes when you're in that stage, there's the saying, right? What do you call it, Prabhu? When you're like, when there's proximity, when you're used to someone, then you don't really appreciate them enough.
Yeah, familiarity.
Taken for
Risk
granted.
concept.
Yeah. There's a saying that, right? What is the saying? Can someone remember?
Familiarity breeds contempt. Is it
Yeah,
that?
familiarity breeds contempt. So, isn't that one of the faults of some devotees or some people who worships Krishna, because sometimes they get so used to him that they forget that he's actually the Supreme Lord?
That is not what we are talking about actually.
Because we're talking about always thinking of Krishna, always inculcating in your mind that he is the Supreme Lord. But when we always talk about Krishna, we talk about his pastimes too, like him being a child in Vrindavan with the shepherds, right, with the cowherd boys. So when you think about it, there is some kind of like a risk into it, because if you think of Krishna in those kinds of situations or scenarios, you would think that he is just a normal boy. So because you're too familiar with Krishna, isn't that a little bit of a risk? You did, Prabhu.
No, not when you know who you are serving. And that is why in the beginning of Vaidhi Bhakti, knowledge of Krishna is very important. Because when you have the knowledge of Krishna, and also because Krishna is not material, Krishna is spiritual. So his closeness to him doesn't bring contempt, actually. The more close you come to Krishna, the more you even increase your love for him more and more. It's not like material relationship. You see, the more closeness you come to Krishna, the more your love will be increasing to him, the more you want to, you find a reason to come close to him. He's so loving, so sweet, you cannot imagine. Just like we can only have a little experience of that. Matab, I already see your hand. Please, I will call you when I finish. Okay. So you already have little of that when you are chanting the holy name of Krishna. When you are chanting the holy name of Krishna and you already develop attachment to the name of Krishna, you see, you just want to chant more and more. You want to relish the holy name of Krishna more and more. You don't want to stop chanting. It's not like, oh, now I've chanted so much, then you're not interested in chanting again. It means that you are not chanting properly. So in spiritual platform, familiarity does not breed contempt. Familiarity actually brings more love, or more in like it's completely opposite of material situation. You see, so when you're coming closer to Krishna, you develop so much. When you become attached to Krishna, you just want to be around him. You find a reason to be around him, and you just want to think about him again and again, 24 hours without stopping. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was in Jagannath Puri, he could not stop thinking of Krishna 24 hours. During the day, he will be able to control himself by being the association of devotee, especially towards the end of his final pastime. But at night, he could not tolerate the separation from Krishna. He would just be crying, and hitting his head on the wall and looking for Krishna. So in a spiritual platform, coming in contact with Krishna is completely transcendental. It's not like a material relationship.
Thank you for explaining, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Mother Shaya, your hand was always coming up. Please.
No, I
Now you
made
can
a
speak.
mistake, Prabhuji. I was putting a heart, so sorry for that.
No. Please go ahead and speak now. You have been putting art for many long time. You have never made that mistake. Please.
Okay.
Um,
It's just like I remember, I forgot this story. There was this devotee who does not know how to read, but he's holding, is it a Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita book? And then like one time somebody asked him, "Did you even know what is that?" And he couldn't read it or write it. But then he has so much love because of the picture. So in my understanding, it means like if you are not so situated that very intelligent in the scriptures, but at the same time you have this spontaneous love to Krishna. I mean, is that mean that how do you call it? You already attain prema? Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, even devotional service can be performed in three modes of material nature. Devotional service can be in the mode of ignorance. Devotional service can be in the mode of passion. Devotional service can be in the mode of goodness. Pure devotional service comes on the platform of transcendence, means beyond the modes. Pure, that is pure devotional service. So in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, if you go and study Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, there you will see Lord Kapila Dev was instructing his mother, Mother Devahuti, and he explained very nicely to the mother about the different devotional service that the devotee can perform. So when we are performing devotional service in the mode of ignorance, there is description of devotional service. When we are performing the devotional service in the mode of passion, the description is also in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I can just remember something little. Let's say, for example, a devotee is performing devotional service, and when you are doing devotional service, you are becoming angry, even in the midst of your devotional service. That is devotional service in mode of ignorance. So if somebody is a devotee is performing devotional service and is having material desire, that is devotional service in the mode of passion. If the devotee is performing devotional service and is always want to cultivate knowledge about God, you just want to know, you love hearing about Krishna, you're cultivating knowledge about Krishna, that is in devotional service in mode of goodness. And transcendental devotional service means unconditional devotional service, means it's completely, there's no reason why you are doing it, you just do it because you love Krishna. That is pure devotional service. So devotional service also can be in these different levels. Okay, so that's what we're saying is that in the beginning of this discussion is that we have Vaidhi Bhakti and we have Raganuga Bhakti. That is regulative devotional service and spontaneous devotional service. On our stage now, we are engaging in regulative devotional service. When we become so pure and develop pure love for Krishna, then we engage in spontaneous devotional service to Krishna. That stage is still far, far, far. Only when we have become pure that we can come to that level. When we give up material desire, no more material desire, no desire for any personal gain, only to just serve and love Krishna. Is that clear? Thank you very much.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
So let's continue. So now we have done with up to 11. So I will not go through it again because you already done up to that 11. So we have just continued from 12. Is that okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will just continue from 12. So in 12 and 13, after Krishna finished describing all this greatness and everything, so from 12 to 13, Arjuna now started glorifying Krishna. Arjuna uvacha param brahma param dhamma pavitram paramam bhavam purusham shashwatam devyam adi devamajam vibhu hauswam rishaya sarve devarishi naradastata asito devalo vyasa shamayam shaiva prabhishime. So after hearing all this, just imagine, come to know about the greatness of your friend. So now Arjuna is confirming it to show that Arjuna is not a conditional living entity like me and you. He knows the greatness of Krishna. But because Arjuna is a friend of Krishna, he's acting on a spontaneous devotional service. You see, he's a friend. So he relates with Krishna like a friend. Like sometimes of Krishna, they will go out, like one time they went out together, and when they were sitting at the bank of Kalindi, They saw a beautiful girl and they were teasing the girl. Krishna said, Arjuna, see that girl. It's very beautiful. Go after the girl. And Krishna said, no, you. Just imagine, that is the kind of level of friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. They are on that high level of friendship. But now Krishna is acting as a guru of Arjuna. And Arjuna has to put himself down. He has to come down from the level of friendship to accept the position of a disciple, for Krishna to speak this Bhagavad Gita to him for our own benefit. So, but here, Arjuna now is telling us the position of Krishna based on what he has realized on that level of friendship, you see? So Arjuna said, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me, you see? So Arjuna, you see, for you to come to the level of pure, spontaneous devotional service, you already passed the level of knowledge of Krishna. Means you are aware of knowledge of Krishna. That is, so Arjuna is completely aware of the position of Krishna. There's no doubt about that. So after Krishna describing all this, Arjuna is reconfirming it to us that Krishna, yes, I know you. You are this, you are that. And not only you have said it to me now that you are the source of the spiritual world and this, that. No, you are not the only one who have said it. I've even heard it from Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. All these people, they say this greatness about you. And now you are confirming it. Thank you, Krishna. Okay, so let's read the purport.
Ready,
You did,
Prabhu.
Prabhu? Okay. Go ahead, Mother Angel.
Okay, thanks. In these two verses, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to Mayavadi philosopher. For here it is clear that Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita, in this chapter became completely free from all doubts and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares, you are Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and previously Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already been explained in these previous verses by the Lord. Now, by His grace, Arjuna is accepting His as supreme truth in concordance with the Vedic injunctions. It is not that because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend, Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. Whatever Arjuna says in these 2 verses is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of these verses spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by Vedic injunction. In the Kena Upanishad is stated that the Supreme Brahma in the race of everything, and Krishna has already explained that that the Supreme Lord is whom everything is listing can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of Him. This constant thinking of Krishna is Smaranam, one of the methods of devotional service. It is only by devotional service to Krishna that one can understand his position and get rid of this material body. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who is understand that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless the surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna acceptance of Krishna as the Supreme Pure complies with the injunctions of Vedic literatures. This is also confirmed by great personalities, of whom Narada is the chief, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and one should always meditate upon him and enjoy one's transcendental relationship with him. He is the supreme existence, is free from bodily needs, and from birth and death. Not only does Arjuna confirm this, but Krishna is thus described in the Puranas, histories, in all other Vedic literatures. And the Supreme Lord himself also says in the 4th chapter, although I am unborn and I appear on this earth to establish religion's principles, he is the supreme origin. He has no cause, for he is the cause of all causes, and everything is emanating from him. The perfect knowledge can be had by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Here Arjuna expressed himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these 2 verses. This is called the parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education. Unfortunately, despite so much evidence in the Vedic literatures, those proud of their academic education stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. We're already beyond time. After Arjuna heard about the Shastri, now Arjuna is confirming and talking about the greatness of Krishna. Then Arjuna will continue to glorify Krishna in the pre-coming verses, and he will request Krishna to talk more about his vibhutis, which we are going to hear more in detail in chapter 10. And Krishna, at the end of chapter 10, Krishna will say, whatever I've told you, Arjuna, is just fragments of my opulence. Just imagine, after telling you everything about how he pervades the universe, he says just fragments, fraction of my opulence. That is how great God Krishna is. Many people in this material world, they don't know how great he is. Only when you study Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, you understand how great God is. So thank you very much. We cannot go so much on this topic today. We'll continue from where we stop tomorrow, because we have to now come out of this classroom and go and enter in another classroom. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If you are part of the next classroom, see you in the next classroom. Hare Panchaka Patarubhyas Chaki Pasan.